Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, the capital of one of the Canary Islands, is one of the top 10 biggest cities of Spain. So when you're coming here, you might wonder, what should I go and see? And this district is your answer. We are in Vegueta. And Vegueta is the place where everything started. This city, Las Palmas, back then was called Real de las Palmas, for having a lot of palm trees, was founded in 1478 by Juan Rejón, the conquistador from the Castilian crown, and 30 of his men. They were disembarking here, and this is how the modern history of this area started. When the Castilian crown came to these islands, they started a war with the indigenous people that lasted almost 5 years. We've been mentioning about this in our previous video about Arucas. So it took them almost 5 years to get total control over Gran Canaria, and it's a pretty terrifying part of the story of these lands. We are reaching the Plaza of St Anna, and this is the Cathedral of St Anna over here. You might see from the backside. We're going to turn around and see a facade as well. It's the emblematic central cathedral of Las Palmas. The construction started shortly after the city was founded, and it took a little while to build it, actually, because it was frozen. The construction work was frozen in the 16th century and then resumed only in the 18th century, as a matter of fact. And this is causing the idea that this monument has many different styles inside of it. The Moorish style, the Corinthian style in the decor. So this really is eclectic and very, very special. So we're gonna come back here very soon, once we're gonna speak about Christopher Columbus. But let's just walk through and see the plaza, the square that is standing in front of this cathedral. Plaza de St Anna. This place, this square, is definitely like a museum under the open sky. All the buildings that you see here have some historical significance. For instance, this town hall on the back over there, we're going to see it a little closer later on. And this area is definitely a place that you want to go, because the local government, the local town hall, has a lot of different events down here, like jazz festival, for instance, or you see they're building a stage, so they're going to have some events soon. And about St Anna, about the cathedral, before we go away, I should say that you can reach one of the towers, you can walk up, and it's accessible by the elevator, so it's really good for everybody who doesn't want to walk all these stairs up there. And it's beautiful view from up there to the whole Vegueta district and to the surroundings of this historic area of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. Let's move a little further up. So what's about the dogs? There are 4 breeds that have the origin in the Canary Islands, and 24 breeds in total that are originating in Spain. These dogs in particular, although they do resemble the dogs that have the origin in the Canary Islands, but they were created in France. And one part of the story says that a French ship had to stop in Las Palmas, in the port of Las Palmas, in order to do an urgent fix. And this ship had to go all the way to one of the African colonies. But since the ship was almost broken and the locals were restoring it, as a gift, as a gratitude to the locals, this French ship was giving this work of the French sculpture to the city. The other story says that these dogs are coming from England, and there has been an English merchant whose name was Thomas Miller, and he had a big significance for these territories, for Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. So one of his sons, James, he was giving this as a gift to the town hall. So here are the doggies, and there are 8 of them. Some say that this is to mark the number of the Canary Islands. The Episcopal Palace is famous for the long wall that's just right away behind it. Let's take a little closer look, and then we go and see the house of Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus has been stopping in the Canary Islands 3 times out of his 4 journeys, and his first stop down here was not planned. One of his ships, La Pinta, had to go through a quick reparation, so he was stopping in the port of Las Palmas. And while he was waiting to repair his ship, he was presumably stopping in the governor's house. So now this governor's house and the entire block of 4 buildings is turned into a museum to commemorate the significance of Las Palmas and Christopher Columbus's encounter. So this entire building is really, really beautiful. It has a lot of wonderful details to look into. Let's take a little walk around it. Don't miss it if you're here, just because it's a beautiful place. It has a wonderful display about the voyages of Christopher Columbus and about the role that the Canary Islands played for these voyages. Personally, I'm not a fan of Christopher Columbus. I think that what has been happening there during his voyages is really ambiguous. But history is history, and we should learn from it. So let's try to sneak inside and see what's happening inside the museum. Hola. Buenas, buenas. Mira, una pregunta. Estamos haciendo un video sobre el barrio. ¿Estaría posible hacer cuando entramos como visitantes? ¿Estaría posible?
Que preguntar.
¿Qué preguntar?
Para hacer los vídeos, sí.
Sí. plaza, San Antonio Abad, was one of the first squares of the city. And the chapel, the San Antonio Abad Chapel, is known to be the place of the worship of Christopher Columbus before he set off to his voyage to the Americas, which at that time wasn't exactly the Americas. What I also like about Vegueta is that this place is much calmer than the other districts of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, and it also has some wonderful places to go and eat, dine, drink, spend some time with friends. We're gonna go into one of them now. As we're standing here, I'm thinking, this plaque over here says that this is the place where Las Palmas de Gran Canaria was founded. So maybe these 3 palms that we see over here, they are the significance of them is to show that the 3 palms, the Real de Tres Palmas, was the beginning of the city. Hola. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? Mira, es necesario hacer así, vale. Pues estamos aquí para tomar un cafecito, claro. Y les preguntamos también, Gran Canaria está muy lejos de todo otro territorio español, ¿verdad?
Efectivamente.
¿Cómo decimos a la gente que tienes que venir a verlo? ¿Por qué?
Wow. Punto número 1, las playas, el clima, la comida, las personas. Pero yo creo que ya viendo simplemente imágenes de Gran Canaria desde internet y todo esto ya nos llama la atención. Venir a relajarse, a cambiar de aires. Así.
Y tomar un cafecito, ¿no?
Tomar un cafecito también, sí. Y ron.
Y ron. Eso es. Vale, perfecto, pues tomamos un café.
Perfecto, vamos para allá. Aquí mismo.
Gracias. Como siempre, café con leche de avena y un americano.
Perfecto. Big americano.
Muy big. This road behind me is dividing 2 areas, 2 districts, the Vegueta district and Triana, which is also really lovely and beautiful. So we are ending this video about Vegueta, but our walk in Las Palmas is not ending yet. So subscribe to the channel if you want to come with us to Triana and see the beauties of that a little more modern but an amazing part of the city.